Hi, I'm Kelly from Rebalance Pilates and Yoga. Today I'm going to take you through a 30-minute workout focusing mainly on the butt and the tummy. Lots of functional work, lots of strength and toning work with some dynamic moves at the end. Coming onto our backs to start with, we're just going to quickly run through some Pilates basics. Keeping the feet nice and close to the bottom, resting your arms beside you, knees are bent. First of all, in Pilates we talk a lot about our T-zone. And your T-zone comprises of your pelvic floor muscles, which come up from your pubic bone to your belly button, and then the muscles that form a corset around your spine, the transverse abdominis. To activate our T-zone, firstly think of drawing those pelvic floor muscles up towards your belly button as if you were trying to stop from going to the bathroom. Once you've got those muscles tight, keep them tight and then focus on those hip bones flattening out towards each other, belly button coming down to the spine. We also have two spinal positions we're going to use through the workout today. The first one is our neutral spine. So with your neutral spine, you have a little gap between your lower back and the floor. So your pubic bone and your hip bones are sitting on a nice flat plane. Then we have the imprinted spine, where you tilt the pelvis down so that the lower back is pressing in towards your mat. Always keeping that lower back pressing down when you have both feet lifted off the floor. With that said, it's time to get into the workout. We're starting with an abdominal series today. First off, our abdominal curl. Take your fingertips behind your ears and open your elbows out wide. From there, take a breath in and engage that T-zone we spoke about. As you exhale, lift the head and shoulders and slide your ribs down to your hips, and then inhale, release back to the floor. Exhale, ribs slide to hips, lift the head and shoulders, and then exhale to return down. Keep going with that, really focusing on that belly button flattening down towards your spine as you curl up, rather than letting the tummy pop up towards the ceiling. Elbows stay wide, so you're using your abdominals to bring you up rather than the force from your arms. If you want to increase the intensity of this exercise, imprint your spine and then bring your knees above your hips, tabletop position, squeezing the knees together. We can perform the curl here. So that's just adding a little extra intensity on your abdominals, challenging you a little bit more. Let's do one more here, exhaling to curl up and inhaling to lower. Our next exercise is our bicycle legs, starting in this same position with your imprinted spine, knees above the hips. Inhale, tighten the T-zone. Exhale, lifting the head and shoulders, curling up. At the top, take a breath in and flatten the tummy down towards the spine. As you exhale, extend one leg out, reaching through the toes. Inhale, return knee above hip. Exhale to extend the other leg and inhale to return. We're just going to continue with that, alternating legs, focusing on your lower back, staying pressing into the floor as you extend one leg out. If you're feeling any tension in your neck or shoulders, you can place the head and shoulders back down onto the mat and just keep focusing on your legs and your abdominals. Otherwise, if you're staying lifted, tuck the chin into the chest slightly, just to loosen off those neck muscles. To make this exercise more challenging, as you extend the leg, take it slightly lower to the floor, making sure that as you do so, the lower back doesn't arch away from the floor. Think about reaching out through the toes, stretching through the legs, keeping that curl if you can, for another repetition on each leg. Exhaling to extend the leg out, inhaling to return, last one here. And then rest the head and shoulders to the floor, draw the knees to the chest. Moving into some work now for the waistline, coming into an oblique curl. Starting as we did with our first exercise, with the feet on the floor, knees bent. Take the fingertips behind the ears, opening the elbows out wide. Inhale, T-zone tight. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders and rotate the chest to one side. Inhale to lower back down. Exhale to lift and rotate to the other side. And inhale to release. Really important to remember with this exercise is keeping those elbows wide as you rotate rather than letting the elbow cross over your body. Think about shoulder to opposite hip. Just as we did in our abdominal curl to begin, to challenge yourself in this exercise, we can lift the legs again into that tabletop position, imprinting the spine first and bringing the knees over the hips, squeezing them together. Exhale to lift and rotate. Inhale to lower back down. Just watch that your knees are not moving as you rotate those shoulders across. So it's just that torso that's twisting, working into your waistline. Let's do one more each side and then progress on with a crisscross. So last one here, exhaling to lift and rotate. Inhaling to lower back down, coming straight into crisscross. As we lift and rotate, the opposite leg extends out. Inhale to lower back down. Exhale, lift, rotate and extend. And inhale to release. Just have a look at your bent knee, making sure it doesn't creep towards your chest. Keep it sitting over that hip to work your abdominals a little bit harder. Elbows staying wide, feeling that rotation through your waist, a little pull across your belly button. If you're feeling like you need to pull back a little bit, you've got two options. The first is to just take that leg a little higher towards the ceiling. And the second is to come into a toe tap on the floor. You're still getting the rotation, just taking a little bit of the load out of your abdominals. Let's do one more each side. Exhaling to rotate, inhaling to release. Final one here. And release down, knees to chest for a rest. One final abdominal exercise to finish off our series, the Pilates 100s. So you've got 3 levels for your 100s, and I'll go through them as we progress through the exercise. Starting with an imprinted spine and the legs in tabletop, reaching the fingers past the hips. Take a breath in to prepare, tighten the T-zone, and as you exhale, lift the head and shoulders, sliding ribs to hips. Start beating your arms, nice little pulses close to the floor. Breathing in for 5 beats of the hands and out for 5 beats of the hands. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Level 2, you can extend your legs to the ceiling. And level 3, just lowering the legs away from you slightly, only so far though that your lower back stays pressing down into the floor. Nice big deep breaths, in for 5 pulses of the arms and out for 5 pulses of the arms. If the neck gets tight or sore, you can place one hand behind the head to support or even lower the head and shoulders back onto the mat. We've got 2 more breaths to go here. Exhale, try and get up a little further. Final breath. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release down. And that's our ab series done. We're now going to roll on the side to start working our glutes. So pick a side and just roll yourself over, extending the bottom arm out along the floor to rest the head, and bringing those knees up, out from your hips, shins parallel to the front of your mat. Take your top hip, press it away from your shoulder so you're creating a little gap between your waist and the floor. Our first exercise here is called a Clam 3 kick out. So inhale, tighten that T-zone, and as you exhale, you're going to lift your knee and foot in one even line, and then inhale to lower back down.
Exhale, squeeze the bottom, lift the knee and the foot, and inhale to release. What you want to focus on is that top hip staying pressed forward as you lift your knee, rather than rocking through the body to lift and lower the leg. Making sure the foot doesn't shoot up too high, so the knee and the foot are in line, and controlling that move up and back down. Whenever we're working our glutes on the side, you want to think about pressing that chest forward and sticking your tailbone backwards. This position is really going to help you engage the butt. Level 2, instead of closing your knees all the way down, let's just leave a little gap at the bottom. Doing 4 more here. Exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower. Last 3. And 2. Final 1. And release all the way down. Second exercise of 3, bringing the feet back in line with the bottom and the knees back slightly. Straight leg raise. We're starting with the leg extended back in line with the spine, and from there, sweeping it forward in front of you, turning the toes to face the floor. From this position, inhale to tap the toes, and exhale to lift back up. Inhale to tap, and exhale to lift. Focusing on keeping your hip back, it's just that leg that sweeps forward, and it stays in front of your body. Toes tap on the way down, and heel leads on the way up. Making sure that knee stays straight as you lift, rather than bending on the way up. So your bottom is lifting that leg all in one move. Keeping the chest pressing forward and that little gap between your waist and the floor. Let's do 4 more here. Squeezing the bottom, leading with the heel to lift. Keeping those abdominals nice and tight, so engage that T-zone. Last 2. And 1. And release those knees back together. Final exercise for our sideline portion is our circles. Nice and simple, extending the leg back in line with your spine, reaching out through those toes, and then just start circling your leg around. You can circle backwards or you can circle forwards, whatever way feels more comfortable for you, as long as that leg stays nice and high. You're aiming for hip height. Knee stays straight and the whole leg is circling in one move. Nice big deep breaths in and out in your own time. Try not to hold your breath. It's going to start getting a little challenging now. So keeping that breath going is really going to help you get through to the end. You're more than halfway through the exercise already. Chest open, really squeeze into your bottom, reach out through your toes if you can. Final 20 seconds. Keep it lifted and keep it moving. Nice big round circles for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release back down. Continuing on with our glute work, remember the leg that you just worked. We're not quite finished with it yet. Coming up onto your knees. And that leg you just worked is going to extend out to the side. Other hand comes down onto the floor, far enough away so you can just tap that toe lightly, taking the load in your knee and your hand. Other hand comes on the hip to open that chest, kneeling side kick. Inhale, tuck the bottom under, tighten the T-zone, and as you exhale, lift the leg, and inhale, hover off the floor. Exhale to lift, and inhale to hover.
If you need to touch the toe down each time, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, try and take the challenge to hold that load in your bottom by hovering the toes. Keeping that knee nice and straight. And it doesn't matter how high you lift your leg, as long as it's off the floor, that butt will be working. Making sure the chest stays open and the bottom stays tucked under. Just finishing off this side of the body. 2 more to go. I'm going to do a little pulsing to finish. So exhaling to take the leg up and then stay at the top. Little baby pulses for 15 seconds. Keeping it high, keep it moving, squeezing into the bottom for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down. So that's one side done. Now we've got to do it all again on the other side, starting with our sideline glute work. So coming down, making sure you are doing the other side this time. Bottom arm outstretched, head resting down. Bring those knees up, coming out from your hips and shins parallel to the front of your mat. Taking the top hip, pressing it away from your shoulder, creating that little gap between your waist and the floor. Clam 3 kick out is what we're starting with. So inhale, T-zone tight, and as you exhale, squeeze the bottom, lift the knee and the foot, and inhale to lower back down. Exhale, squeeze and lift, and inhale to release. Double checking that top hip stays pressed forward as you open the knee. It's not about how high you go, it's about having your body in the correct position as you perform the exercise. Chest is open, and think about sticking your tailbone back to the wall behind you. That's really going to help engage your butt and get it working right from the start of our series. Level 2, take the challenge and leave a gap between your knees at the bottom. Making sure the foot doesn't start to creep up higher than the knee as you start to fatigue. 4 more here. Exhaling to lift and inhaling to lower down. Aiming for that control on the way up and control on the way down. Last 2. And 1 more time. And releasing the knees together. Second exercise is our straight leg raise, moving the knees down and the feet in line with your bottom. Extending the leg back in line with the spine and then sweeping the leg forward in front of you, turning the toes to the floor. Inhale to tap the toes and exhale to lift. Inhale to tap and exhale, lift. Keeping that knee nice and straight. As you lift, think about lifting with the heel on the way up. So those toes stay facing the floor. That's really going to make a difference in that work in the side of your bottom there. Keep the chest open and keep that T-zone nice and tight. Don't let it go. It's going to give you an ab workout for the whole program rather than just in your abdominal series. If your toe can't quite reach the floor, that's okay. Just a downward pulse will be enough to activate your glutes. And the more you do the program, the more you'll find the toe can get slightly lower to the floor. Last 2, inhaling to tap, exhaling to lift, and 1 more time. And release. Last exercise here, our circles. Extending your leg back in line with the spine, reaching out through the toes, and start circling your leg around. As I said on the first side, you can circle forwards, you can circle backwards. Whatever feels more stable for your body, as long as that knee stays straight and the leg stays up nice and high, aiming for hip height or slightly higher if you can.
Reaching out through the toes. Nice, big, deep breaths in and out. Try not to hold your breath. T-zone is still tight and that chest is still pressing forward. 20 seconds to go. Try not to let that leg drop at the last minute. Keep it lifted and moving right to the end. Final 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down. Remember that side, we've got our kneeling side kick to finish, coming up onto your knees. Extending the leg you just worked out to the side and taking the other hand down onto the floor far enough away to just tap those toes lightly. Placing the hand on the hip to open the chest and tuck that bottom under. Inhale, T-zone is tight, and as you exhale, lift the leg. Inhale to hover off the floor. Exhale to lift and inhale to hover. As I mentioned on the first side, if you need to tap your toe down after each repetition, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, take the challenge and go with that little hover. Making sure the chest stays open, with a slight bend in your elbow, and keeping that knee nice and straight. 4 more here. And then as we did on the first side, we're finishing with 15 seconds of pulses. Last 2, exhale to lift, inhale to lower, final 1. Now let's lift the leg, keep it high, little tiny pulses at the top. Final 15 seconds. Keep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sitting back. Excellent. So we've done some abs, we've done some work for the lower body. Now we're going back onto our abdominals with some plank work. Starting with just a front plank. We have 2 options, 2 levels for this plank. Elbows underneath the shoulders and those hands come together. For the level 1 option, keeping the knees on the floor, but making sure the hips don't sink down. So you want to lift the tummy and the hips in line with your shoulders, holding here. Level 2, tucking your toes under, pushing back through the heels to lift the knees off the floor, and we're holding this plank for 1 minute. As you go, if you need to drop your knees to the floor, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure that tummy stays lifted and braced. Think about opening through the chest, keeping the eyes on your fingertips. And level 2, squeezing those knees up towards your thighs. So nice, long, straight legs. And breathe. Relax the shoulders away from your ears. And remember your level 1 option on your knees if you need to go there. So this is still a great workout for your abdominals. Working in this position is an excellent way to start increasing your strength so you can get up into that level 2 option. We've got about 15 seconds to go, so keep holding the plank, keep those tummies lifted for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and resting the knees back to the floor. Some side planks now, so really working into that waistline again, just rolling onto one side and bringing your elbow underneath your shoulder. The level 1 option for your side plank is to keep your bottom knee bent and just extend that top leg, lifting the hips and the waist away from the floor. If you really think about reaching up through that top arm and opening the chest, you'll be able to lift a little higher. Level 2, take that bottom leg
back behind you so you're up on the sides of both feet. Either just holding a static plank, or we can start to use some dynamic work with little hip pulses. Thinking about squeezing into the waistline and pushing through the forearm to lift those hips. Making sure the chest stays open and the bottom stays tucked under. We're not here for long. Let's just do another 4 pulses. 3, 2, 1, and then slowly lower yourself back to the floor. And then let's spin around to do the other side. Setting up, elbow under shoulder. Level 1, bottom knee bent, top leg straightens out, lifting the waist and the hip off the floor, extending that top arm to reach for the ceiling. Level 2, that bottom leg straightens out behind, so you're up on the sides of both feet. Either holding the static plank, or you can start with those little dynamic pulses. Thinking about lifting your waist up away from the floor and squeezing into your bottom. Pushing through your forearm on the floor and keeping the chest open. It's a very challenging move, so we're not here for long. Just another 4 pulses. 3, 2, 1, and slowly lower yourself to the floor to rest. Final set of work we're going to do in the program today is some standing work. So some more dynamic work, taking us into some lunges with some little bottom half pulses to get that butt working one last time. So coming up onto your feet, taking one leg out in front and then a long step back with your back leg so the heels can stay lifted off the floor. Hands on the hips to roll those shoulders back. We're going to take a breath in and lower one knee straight down to the floor. Exhale, press through the heel to rise up. Inhale, dropping the back knee, and exhale, pressing through the front heel to rise. So as you rise up, you want to think about squeezing your bottom and pressing your heel into the floor. It's going to get your butt activated. Making sure you're lunging straight down to the floor with the back knee and straight up rather than coming forward over your front knee. So you want that knee over your ankle. Keeping the tummy nice and tight. We'll do 3 more full range like this, making sure that front knee is pointing directly in front of you. Last one here. And then to finish off this leg, we're going down low for 10 little pulses. So we go down 10, pulse, 9, pulse, keeping really low to the floor, keeping that front heel pressing down and the bottom squeezing for 3, 2, 1. Rise all the way up and we change sides. So front leg, long stride back, hands on hips, roll those shoulders back and down. Inhale, drop the back knee to the floor. Exhale, squeeze the bottom, press through the heel to rise. Inhaling to lower, exhaling to lift up. Once again, making sure your back knee is dropping directly down to the floor rather than bringing your weight forward over that front knee. So straight down, exhale, straight back up. Having a look at that front knee, check it's tracking forward, keeping those tummies nice and tight. Last 3, full range here. Squeezing the bottom to rise, pressing through that heel. Last one. And then as we finished on the first side, going nice and low with those pulses for 10, 9, 8, staying as low as you can, 6, 5, 4, press through the heels, squeeze the bottom, 2, and 1. Rising up, bring the feet together, and you've completed your workout. Finishing with a little stretch on the floor, and then you're done for the day. So coming back down, so taking a seat, bending one knee in front and the other leg back. From there, take your hand and place it on your shin, lifting the opposite arm to the ceiling. Take a breath in and reach up, and as you exhale, sink towards that back leg. Holding the stretch, taking nice big deep breaths in, and as you exhale, try and sink a little deeper. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, sink a little deeper into the stretch, feeling a nice stretch down the side of your body and into your hips. Reaching that top arm across. And now you can switch off those tummy muscles to allow you to get a little deeper into the stretch. Let those muscles release. One more big deep breath in and out, and then return back up. Changing sides, other leg comes in front. Hand on the shin, reaching up, breathing in, and as you exhale, sink to the side. Once again, nice big deep breaths in and out. Every time you breathe out, see if you can sink a little deeper. Don't force the stretch. You want slight discomfort when you're stretching, but never pain. Allow those muscles to release, allow them to relax. Sinking further if you can. Reaching through the top arm. One more big deep breath in and out, and then releasing back up. Well done, you've completed your workout. I hope you enjoyed your session with me today. So my name's Kelly from Rebalance Pilates and Yoga. Please subscribe to eFit30, and I hope to see you next time.